Best Buy is going to have a new CEO come November, and a lot at stake here about, sort of weathering the changes in the way consumers buy things, in store versus online. That company, of course, seen a lot of ups and downs competing with online retailers, and they have pivoted to really make their online portion far more robust to compete with Amazon and other places. So joining us now to talk about it, because he's written a book about it, is Alfred Marcus from the Carlson School of Business, the author of Comeback: Can Great Companies Rise Again? Hey, thanks for joining us today. Oh, I can't hear you. Is your
Um, Thank you for having me. Is
there?
that better?
That's much better. Yeah, the closer you
Okay.
get, it's certainly better.
Okay.
The joy of we talk about online. Well, the joy of
Yeah.
using online communications here too works very well, but it can be a little bit touchy at times. Your book explores 8 iconic companies. Best Buy is the one that we're mentioning here, but also Intel, Amazon, Dell, Disney, Pepsi, Monsanto, and Tesla. How did you decide to include Best Buy, Twin Cities-based retailer, in that group?
Best Buy has made a remarkable recovery. In the year 2010, 2011, there were many doubts about whether it would continue to be around. Circuit City uh, went away completely. Radio Shack went away completely. And under the leadership of Herbert Joly, it made a lot of changes. And unlike other companies at the time, it was able to weather the storm and come back. So it was a great story. And it's also a case that I've taught for many years at the Carlson School and elsewhere.
Yeah, and interesting the way that they have pivoted or opted to try to stay current. I mean, you could say this about a lot of different industries throughout history, right? When the car is invented, how did the folks that made horseshoes, pivot, or et cetera? There's multiple comparisons, I guess, historically. In this case, Best Buy, as you mentioned, under their former CEO, Herbert Joly, they were pivoting away from the concerns that people were showrooming. People were coming to Best Buy to kick the tires on things that then they were going to go buy online because they could find it cheaper. What was the important change made at that point?
Match prices. That was the most significant thing that he did. He also did a retrenched in many, many ways. So they cut headcount, they stopped engaging globally, they eliminated their global businesses. He tried to enliven the in-store experience by with the people, the blues who work in the stores, getting them more involved in the purchases, which is something that you can't do when you buy online from an algorithm like Amazon. Uh, Overall, it's viewed as quite a successful turnaround, and he's written about it and has been celebrated for it. The and he stabilized the situation. There's no doubt that the company is financially very sound. The question is, where is it going to grow and where is it going to go next? And I think that's the question that the current uh, person who's going to become the CEO, Jason Bonfig, will have to answer.
Yeah.
And they're taking steps. They're taking some significant steps.
What sort of condition? I mean, how critical was the situation at certain points over the last, say, 10 to 15 years for Best Buy that maybe they could have gone the way as Circuit City and Ultimate Electronics and some of these others?
Yeah, to 2011, they lost $2 billion, which was a lot of money. And the company has not seen significant growth since that period of time. It's still around the annual revenue is about $40 billion. It's very, very similar to what it was. It's basically a smaller company than it once was, and it's become quite a profitable company. And financially, it's on very sound footing. The question is, what does it do next? I think that's the question it faces. And Best Buy tried to get into healthcare under the current CEO, Corey Berry, and that effort has not really worked very well. The initiative that it's taking now that I think is very significant, and it was it's an initiative that was started by Bonfig, who's going to become the CEO, is they're creating a marketplace that's not unlike the marketplace that Amazon runs. Of course, it's at a much, much smaller scale, but it makes a lot of sense. So that there will be third party. If you go on their website now, there's third party sellers on the website. I think they have 1,100 third party sellers, is the last I checked. And that's going to help their profitability and maybe allow them to grow because when you have a third party seller, you don't have to hold the inventory. And all you do is you're earning commission, which is it's very useful. And they've already it's picked up. The sales off the third party sales have picked up, but what's going to be even more lucrative is you can the third party sellers place ads on what's called the marketplace, and that's proved to be a very profitable business for Amazon. And for Walmart. Walmart has made it into a very profitable business. I think it has a great deal of promise because when you buy from Best Buy, electronics, and Best Buy can provide this. You want some hands-on help because these are usually, if you in your home, it's you have other electronics. It's complicated to set up. Maintenance is hard, and so Best Buy provides Geek Squad. You can get installation off of Amazon, but it's from a third party, and they don't have the same interest in meeting your needs. Best Buy can then establish a long-term relationship via Geek Squad with a customer. And I think that's the critical thing. They need to be more run like a membership kind of company, more like a Costco, where they have ongoing relationships with customers and not just transactional ones.
And one other thing I want to ask you about, and then we got to go because we're running out of time here, is this new incoming CEO, Jason Bonfig, also introduced Best Buy Ads, which has become a huge revenue generator for the company. Explain how it works and how this might position the company into the future here to remain viable.
I'm not sure everybody's aware, but when you go onto any website like Google or you go onto Amazon today, people are buying placement on the site. And so the seller that comes up first is paid for that. That's basically what an on-site ad is, and that's great for earning revenue, and it's good for the advertiser too, because if you go on Google, Google is not directly selling anything, but on Amazon they're directly selling things. So the relationship between the purchaser and the seller, the person who places the ad and the purchaser of a product is much more direct. So I think it has huge promise because when you buy something on Amazon, it's kind of complicated, and there's all kind of duds out there right now. They let everybody on their site, and if they could curate a bit and assure quality, especially when you buy electronics. When you buy electronics, you don't want to have to go through the return process. I think there's a lot of potential here, and what's happening right now is people are upgrading their equipment to AI connected equipment. So there will probably be a buying binge that's going to occur.
All right. Well, hey, we got to run. Thanks for joining us. I had a lot more questions for you, but we're out of time here. The book, Comeback, Can Great Companies Rise Again? Examining 8 iconic companies and Twin Cities-based Best Buy among them, as companies constantly have to navigate the changing consumer landscape and how to stay relevant. Thanks so much for your time.